Hello, good evening, and welcome, I think. I'm hoping everything's connected properly, including the microphone. It does all appear to be moving in the right direction. If you're not watching this live, hello, video world. I am going to do my nails tonight. Sassy Saints. I have 5 different coloured powders for 5 fingers. And yeah, I just thought I'd do it live online. I'm finding it a little bit difficult to make content at the moment because it is the 6-week summer school holidays. So finding time to do anything is a little bit difficult. So yeah, while I've got the house to myself, I thought go live, do it, content, easy. Okay. So I will just get myself swapped over. Oh, I've already knocked my camera, so great start. I took off the powder that I already had on using the foolproof method of rice, although I use baking beans now. And acetone. I've tried a couple of different methods, and to be honest, I can't get past that. It works so well, and it gets everything off in one go. And when you add the coconut oil, it just leaves everything lovely and smooth and moisturized, and other methods just don't even cut it for me. So what I'm going to do is just a very quick prep because they're not that bad, to be honest. If at any point anybody does appear and you want to tell me if the audio's working or not working, or you can't see what I'm doing, that'd be really helpful. Because I'd be sat here talking to myself and you can't actually hear anything, which would be a bit of a stress. And I am quite fussy about making everything look nice as well. So hopefully I have got the chat hooked up. So I should be able to read the chat and see what I'm doing and physically see what I'm doing all at the same time, I think. So little bit of prep. I am using instant cuticle remover, Sally Hansen. This stuff is amazing. It is so nice and gentle on my hands, and it really does get rid of even the teeniest, tiniest little bits of skin stuck to your nail. And I have never, touch wood, so far had a problem with lifting. So let's see where we're at. I think that's probably been on there for long enough, so we'll just give it a little push. If there's anything you want to ask me while I am in process, I will try my best. I think the live feed does have a tiny little lag because I've got it up on my iPad and she's going a bit slower than me. So I can only assume you're a little bit behind what I'm physically doing. Hopefully I have set the stream up so that if any naughty people come in and try to say naughty things, it will blank all that out. But this is the first time I've done a live on this channel, so I can only assume I've set it up properly. Fingers crossed. Okay, see, I thought my cuticles look pretty decent because I only actually did my nails a couple of days ago, I think. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that. And even when I think my cuticles look lovely and clean, whenever I use the Sally Hansen stuff, more comes off every single time. And I always go so gentle. And I think using the Sally Hansen stuff means that you're not scraping as hard. So I am going more gently. I forgot what I was saying originally now. I lose my train of thought all the time. I don't know if that's an age thing or what, but I'll start saying one thing and then diverge off into something else and then forget what my original point was. Oh yeah, I did my nails a couple of days ago. I remember now. Yeah, I did some lovely pastel colours by a brand called Gnosis, and they're only from Shein. I was actually talking to someone on Facebook about it because I think they were asking for recommendations of different powders. Because, you know, I love the Sassy Saints powders. They're really pigmented, they're really lovely to use, but they're not necessarily the cheapest. I think full price they're £12, aren't they? And you can buy 4 get 1 free. They've just had a bog off offer, but they are like normally £12. So what's that? Buy 4 get 1 free is their sort of standard offer. I can't be bothered to do the maths. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. Give that a bit of a wipe. I think the Glamour Dip powders, are they £9? And then, Dipped UK, they're a fantastic brand. I've got different powders from them, and again, lovely and pigmented. I think they're £9 each as well. Let me just get this on. I am also really hoping. I've had to write myself a list of the order of the things I have to do, because I know I'm going to start rabbiting on, and then I'll be like, what do I do after I activate it again? And I'll just go brain dead. But yeah, this brand of powders off Shein, Gnosis, they're actually like really good and really pigmented, and they're like £1 or something. And it might be a bit hit and miss, I don't know, but everything I've got from them has been really nice. And I've not swatched them yet, but I got some, they're like almost, I think that they're translucent, but they remind me of these like jelly style gel liquids that are quite big in Korea and Japan, and on the picture they really looked like that, and I thought, if I could get that in a dip powder, that would be so cool, but I haven't even swatched them yet. School summer holidays, no time to do anything. But I do have the house to myself at the moment. I have been on decorating duty, which is another reason, which I think is what I was trying to say originally, why my cuticles aren't too bad, because I only did them the other day. But because I've been decorating, I've just been bashing my hands about on there. And they're a bit of a state, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to put a new colour on. And why not do it on the internet? So, let's get these little bits off. Can we see? I have to keep checking that you can actually see what I'm doing, because I've got a tendency to start bringing my hands further and further down, and then you won't be able to see anything. But see how much skin, it's still sort of pulling off, and you would be putting your dip powder on top of that skin, and then obviously that can create a problem for the dip powder sticking to your nail. I say I've not had any issues with lifting as of yet, but you never know. Right, we'll just get this done and out of the way. So obviously after this, the next step is a dehydrator. And the one in my Sassy Saints kit, I believe it's called Prime It. Is it Prime It? Yeah, it's called Prime It. I mean, a couple of the bigger brands give their own names to everything, but it is all the same stuff. What did Glamour Dip call it? Bond, I think they call it. James Bond. No, just Bond. Right, okay. I think that is cuticles nicely done. Okay, so now I'm not gonna go too mad on the filing. I'm not massively happy with the shape of a couple of my nails at the moment. I was going to try and go for that almond style that seems to be quite in, but to be honest I don't think it suits the shape of my hands. Sorry, forgive me while I just turn my phone on silent because I knew it was about to ping. How do we get rid of that? Okay. Yeah, so I started trying to get a bit more of this almond shape going, but I don't really like it, to be honest, so we are abandoning it. My fingers are quite short and fat anyway, so going for, I think it's a square oval. The last time I had my hands done professionally, that's what she called it. So it is more of a square end, but with just sort of rounded edges. So I'm not gonna do too much. I'm just gonna need very gently just straighten them up a bit. So all the decorating that I've done these past 2 days, my hands have been washed continuously, banged on everything, in and out of paint and God knows what else. I'm not a particularly careful person, so having my nails done, I can only really do it with this acrylic. Gel polish doesn't stand up to the battering I give my hands, unfortunately. Okay, I think that will do, because obviously we're going to shape them after we've put the powder on anyway. So now I am going to have a sip of my coffee, and we are ready to go. Let's clean our little workstation here. Can't cope with mess. Now, okay, right, I have got Sage Seduction, Lavender Lux. I think Lavender Lux was the very first dip powder manicure I ever did. Should I leave them that way up? Bubblegum Bombshell and Teal Temptress, think I got that free with something. I don't remember ordering it. And Fog Fume. Okay. So I'm going to do each nail a different colour, which is just what I'm into at the moment, to be honest. I'm sure I'll be into something else in the not too distant. Let's just make sure everything is up to date. Right, so we've got our normal liquids, basic, activate it. I do have the matte top coat, which I think I'm going to use because I've not used it before. It feels like a bit of a conspiracy, the matte top coat, because whenever you talk about it, nobody ever seems to know about it. Sorry, let me just decide what colours I'm doing on what fingers. I think grey, green, purple, pink, blue. Yeah, I think so. Am I going to do my thumb first? Yeah, why not? Yeah, the matte top coat, it's on their website, but you have to search for it. It doesn't just like come up. Which I don't know, and it's also in one of the older, bigger bottles, so I don't know if they're just getting rid of old stock and then discontinuing it or what. I don't know, it's a bit weird. So the method of application I now go for is very minimalist. Because I used to spend so much time filing. Oh my god, it's like stressful. Let's close up on that. I used to spend so much time filing to try and get a decent shape afterwards. So now, and I also try, it's basically the Apex method, but I've sort of do it a bit my own way. So I do a bit of a strip like that down the middle, and then in we go. Tappy, tappy, tappy. Okay, I'll leave that to do its thing. I'm going to end up with all my pots open here, aren't I? Oh, I forgot to prime it, you fool. See, this is what happens when I start talking. Right, okay. I've not primed the thumb, but we'll ignore that. Right, hang on. Too much talking, not enough nail activity going on. Right. Don't forget to prime your nails first. I've only forgot my thumb. I'm sure I can live through it. I even talked about it. Oh, I'm sure it must be an age thing. It's like your brain just doesn't seem to work anymore. I think I was listening to, what's his name? He sang the Three Lions song with the band that did it, you know, the original one, like in the 90s, because I'm afraid, old enough for that. Right, okay, I've primed. What was his name? Skinner? Or was that the other one? I don't know. The skinny one. I'm just going to get these pots open because I'm going to need them all open. Yeah, I heard him talking on the radio, and he described the sort of the aging process as like a train station and a thought comes in, and sometimes they're fast thoughts, sometimes they're slow thoughts, and if you don't catch it, oh God, that's bright, isn't it? If you don't catch the thought when it's going through the station, then you've had it because it's gone. And if a faster train goes past and you've stopped thinking about the little one that was chugging along, then you've lost it as well. So, yeah, that's basically how my brain works. And if a bigger thought comes along, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. Okay. Right. Now, let's get back to business. We have used primer now. Okay. Got my base it. Now I'm going to do a very nice thin application. Just sort of a little landing strip down the middle, and we're going in for the purple. There we go, that's a bit better. And we shall continue onto the pink. Keep it nice and thin. I am also very definitely going to start looking at e-files. When I was filing the top coat off earlier to prepare for removing the set on that I had, I just get hand cramps so bad, and I think it's the way I sort of like hold my hand or the pressure that I put on my fingers or something, but it really starts to hurt. So I'm gonna have to look into that, even if it's just for removing the top coat, and nothing sort of more exciting than that at the moment. I've not used this blue before, I don't think. It's very bright. Very bright. Okay. And let's do this little finger here. Making a mess of my mat already. Okay. I'm not sure that I did very good on the first green layer on my thumb. The other four all look okay. Interestingly, that's the one that doesn't have the primer on because I've got a bit too carried away with myself. So let's have a little clean up here. Right, I couldn't find, sorry, I'll just have another sip of my coffee. I couldn't find my Sassy Saints brush, and I did have two, So because I don't really wear makeup anymore, I found this randomly in one of my drawers. I'm sure it came free with something. I think I've gone through a phase of thinking I'm going to start wearing makeup again. I don't know. Every now and again, I'm like, oh, I should start wearing makeup again. Because I've not worn makeup since, well, definitely since I had my son. Probably a little bit before then, to be honest. Being pregnant was horrible, and it was a really hot summer, and I was just a hot and sweaty mess. And I was enormous as well. My son was at £10 when he was born, and I was just the size of an absolute whale. So being bothered to wear makeup was just not on my on my radar. After you've brushed off normally, I always use one of these brushes now, just like a cheapo nail brush, but I keep it in my kit. I think I've mentioned it before on a couple of my videos. It gets rid of any little bits of powder that are still on your nails, and it helps stop contaminate your liquids, because one of the reasons why your liquids might start going rubbish or you're cracking on your fingers, that can be because of contaminated liquids. But yeah, so every now and again I'm like, oh, I should start wearing makeup again. But I decided to get into skincare instead. So I was like, oh, I don't need to wear makeup, I can just look after my skin. Right, green for my thumb. And so we've got, let's get something pointy so you can see. So this is my first layer, bit of a sort of a landing strip in the middle. Next layer, also keep away from the cuticle. You're better off staying away from the cuticle and potentially after a week it looking like you need to replace it. Than getting too close to the cuticle too soon. That was one of the things that I did to begin with, and it just it sticks to your cuticle, it looks a mess, and it ends up all sort of fat at the back and it looks awful. So stay away. My next layer is going to go a tiny little bit closer to the cuticle, and most of the way out, not quite fully, but most of the way out. So we'll get the basic again. I was going to stand my bottle in some hot water because I keep seeing people saying that keeps your liquids nice and thin, and I keep forgetting to do it, but I do brush off quite a bit. So extreme close up. There we go. Right. So we're gonna go a little bit further back over what we've done, and then a little bit further out, and that's all you need to do. But yeah, I've really gotten into skincare this past, well, it must be over a year now, I suppose. I started watching James Welsh, the Welsh twins. They're so funny. And I like all the Korean stuff anyway. So watching his channel, getting into skincare, has been quite fun. Just making sure I'm concentrating. So a little bit further back a little bit further out, making sure you're getting the end, and make sure you get the right colour. But I have just ordered the retinol from, oh god, what's the name of the company now? Skin Rocks. I might not pronounce her name properly. Caroline Hirons or Hirons, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. She interviewed James Welsh, so that's the only reason that I know anything about her. But she's like massive apparently. She's got her own skincare range, and I think she's like 10 years older than me. She's in her early 50s. And she just seems like really down to earth and really nice and normal. I have been using a retinol, but it's only like 0.1. My skin feels lovely and soft. It's really nice to use. But I don't actually think it's doing that much for me. I've got put you on Big Me a minute. I've got patches sort of here and here that I think are like hyperpigmentation, potentially melasma. It's not like I'm ever going to see a dermatologist living in the UK, is it? So this is a bit of self-diagnosis. I've got some little sort of dark spots as well. So I'm trying to deal with them. God, this blue's really bright. I'm not sure it's going to work with these other colours, but never mind. But yeah, so the old retinol should help deal with these patches and bits, because I think other than that I've sorted out how to hydrate my skin properly. The snail mucin products I've been using are really, really good, really hydrating. My skin seems to love them. But the actual dark patches, I don't seem to be shifting, unfortunately. So and the oh god, what's it called? The Caroline Hirons brand, Skin Rocks. That is a slightly stronger retinol. I think it's 0.2, which is still like a gentle one. Because you need to go proper slowly, really. When you're doing things with your skin, because you don't want to do too much too soon. Oh, I've got a little bit of a splurge there. Oh, I might try and clean that up. Okay. Messed that one a little bit, but if you clean up straight away and before you get involved with any activator, you can normally just wipe it off. Okay. Right, so we are 2 dips in. So this is sort of almost at where I would like dip normally up to the cuticle line. So the next 2 dips will be what like I would call full dips, if that makes sense. So I've done my sort of little landing strip and then a slightly bigger landing strip, and then I'm going to come out, and then the last 2 dips will be full ones. Sometimes I use clear, sometimes I don't. having nails that last 3 weeks is totally possible for me now. I've got better at applying it. But if I'm being completely honest, I don't normally leave them on that long because I get bored of the colour and I want to change it. So it's like they don't need to last that long, to be honest. I bought a load of dust everywhere, stress, nail art bits and bobs, and glitters. I did a haul video where I went through all the stuff that I'd ordered, and I've got so many ideas and different techniques I want to try, and it's like there's not enough nails for me to try all the different things. And I am obsessed with watching videos about peekaboo nails, and I've been sort of dabbling quietly on the side with different ideas. But I've got so many different ideas, and I've got this gorgeous glitter, and it's a really dark green. It's like, it almost kind of looks black, but it's not. And I was thinking the Wicked film is coming out in November, I think it's November. So I was going to do like a set of nails using this gorgeous dark green in sort of celebration of the film. I've not even seen the play. It's sort of one of them things that I always wanted to do and never got around to, because life and having a child seems to take precedence for everything. So 2 layers in, gonna give this a nice brush off here. Okay, so layer 3, and got my powder, so might try doing it that way. That's a little bit easier on my hand actually. So I'm going to keep this nice and thin. Okay. And I want to get sort of as close to where I want it to be as possible. And also remember, if you're watching this video, whether it's live or you're watching it in the recorded fashion, I am still very much a beginner, a bit of a nerdy beginner, I have to say, because I do tend to read everything that I can and consume as much information as I can, so I can try and be better at whatever hobby it is I've decided I'm into this week. Yeah, that's not too bad. And I do become a little bit obsessed about things. But I am still very much a beginner. I am still very much learning. But I would say it's definitely a testament to this system, is that, you know, with a bit of effort and a bit of, you know, getting your head around the basics of the liquids and what they do and how they work, it is quite easy to become fairly proficient in not too much time. Okay, nice and thin application, and let's get a little bit closer. sure if it's the light or I can't quite see if I've got that nail properly or not. There we go. Okay. Dip away. Sure, I missed a little bit there. We shall catch it on the next dip. Right, okay. I think these liquids could definitely have done with standing in the water. I think it just helps make that application process better. A little bit closer. And over here. A little bit closer. Okay. In the pink. I actually got an email from Sassy Saints today. They are launching, I don't know if they call them nail art pens. They look, I couldn't quite see, I think they're coming out on Saturday, but they looked more like a thin brush with a liquid that you dipped into and then painted with. They didn't look like the pens that you can get from Glamour Dip, which are actual pens that I can't reach, but they basically look like this. It's a pen that you shake. But yeah, so they come out on Saturday, so I'll probably order a couple of them to have a play with. I have got the Glamour Dip, nail art liners, Glamour Dip call them, and they are a pen, and I've not tried them properly yet either. It's just finding the time to do everything. Right, let's get this blue on. I am quite close to the cuticle. On this blue, steady hand. I am in probably, God, I don't even know how many Facebook groups, and the questions that get asked, it's a lot of the same, go away fly, a lot of the same questions get asked sort of again and again. So I'm trying to make more shorts to answer these little questions. I don't think I quite got enough on there. To try and help out a bit, because they're not stupid questions, you know. They're just things that I think all of us have sort of asked at some point. Where's it gone? Oh, there you are. I made a bit of a short today, because I keep seeing people ask about whether you need to take a break in between manicures, and you know, I wasn't sure, so I went away and researched it. This is like a couple of weeks ago. Concentrate. I want to try and make it Oh, got a bit of a wobble on this finger. As nice and neat as possible. Flipping fly, clear off. I ain't got time to deal with you. There we go. Right, I've got one more layer to do, haven't I? And there's just it's not too bad, there's just a couple of bits really that I've not quite caught very well, which I think is because my liquid needs to be a little bit thinner. But yeah, a couple of weeks ago I sort of looked into this, you know, should you be giving your nails a rest? Do you need to let them air out or whatever? And there's quite a bit of an argument on both sides as to whether people think you need to take a break or not. And the more I looked into it and the more sort of research I did, oddly, it was like the people that were saying yes you do and no you don't were actually saying the same thing, but coming at it from a different angle. And I made the short, it's already uploaded. But essentially, you don't need to take a break because your nails are dead. It's not living tissue, just like your hair isn't living tissue. And if you treat it properly, you don't need to take a break. But if you're doing things to your nail or your hair that are damaging it, then you do need to take a break because you're damaging it and it won't recover because it's dead tissue, so it can't get better, if that makes sense. So even the yeses and the nos were like both right and both saying the same thing, and I hope I got that across in the short that I made. I mean, I'm not really sure how I feel about short form content, to be honest, because it's like, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I need to get a mute button. I feel like how can you get across a message properly but in a concise manner? Do you know what I mean? I have managed to get... How did you get up there? I've got a little bit here. How did that get there? That's ridiculous. Beginners. We're all beginners. How am I going to get... Oh, I might have to cut that off, you know. Oh, it's on a little bit of... Oh, I can't clear my throat now. It's on a little bit of dead skin. We will remove you because you are not needed here. Right, now the thickness isn't looking too bad, and I know as soon as I put another coat on, they're probably going to look too thick, but then I'm going to file them down, so all will be well. Oh, I've got a bit of a tickle now. Right, so brush. How do I feel about the colours? I don't know. That blue is probably a bit bright. I'm not really leaning into the pastel niche too much with these. But to be honest, I just want to try out the matte top coat. I have used a matte gel top coat when I was doing the Cuticle stuff. I used their matte top coat and it does look good, but I've not actually used the dip powder one. So I just want to see. Can I do that? No, it's not gonna let me. Sorry, I'm just seeing if I can load this up on my phone to make it a little bit easier for me to see what I am doing, and it doesn't seem to want to let me. Copy and paste. Oh, it will let me do it. Okay. Right. Yeah, so this is the final coat of colour now. So let's go back to our clear up. Oh, do it from this angle. I know I've just missed out on the offer actually. I'm a bit annoyed with myself. Glamour Dip have released an e-file, and they've just had a birthday offer on where I can't remember how much it was now. If you spent 50 quid, then you got £25 worth of free stuff. I mean, it was basically just powders, which is still good because you were getting 3-4 powders. I can't remember now. Sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate and make sure I get all these little bits that I've missed. And then if you spend £100, you got like the equivalent of 6 free powders, I think. And the drill was 80 quid, but I was sort of umming and ahhing because I was like, oh, what if I don't like it? What if I don't get to grips with it? Because I don't know, it frightens me a little bit. Let me just come back to talking about my nail a minute. So yeah, I don't really need to go round with this tool because I've managed to keep it away from my cuticle. Now, would it look nicer if it was a little bit closer to my cuticle? Possibly. But these cuticles are pushed back, so when your finger sort of naturally relaxes, see, flipping talking. Hang on. I'm trying to prove a point. Just put a bit more powder on it. Be alright, I'm going to file it anyway. Yeah, so once you've this has been on tomorrow morning, my skin's going to naturally push back more closer to it anyway, so it won't look too bad. And until you get more confident with getting closer to the cuticle, you're better off just trying to stay away from it. Oh, I can't believe I just messed that up. That's what I get for trying to be all clever and explain stuff. Right, so this fly is doing me in. Get lost. Stupid little fruit fly. Sorry. I need to get a mute button for when I cough. Right, so let's get in with... No, I don't want to miss anything. There's a little bit there and there's a little bit there. So I'm just gonna shut my trap, if that's at all possible, and concentrate on getting the liquid where I want it. Okay, I think that's not too bad. Come here, purple, or lavender looks, as you are officially known. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Just really gently See, half the problem is, and again I was talking to somebody in a Facebook group about this, I am sort of my own worst problem critic, whatever you want to call it. Because my background is in graphic design, it was basically my job to stare, that's why I wear glasses now, in millimetre detail at things. You know, a millimetre left, a millimetre right, is that where we want it? Move it up a bit, move it down a bit. And it's just done me in. It's not even about, I don't know, I don't think it's even about being a perfectionist. It's just stress. I think that's why it used to take me so long to file, because I'd never be happy that it wasn't essentially like something fake, like a tip that's been made in a factory that needs to look spot on. And it's like, these are my natural nails growing out of my natural hands, and it is not going to look like something millimetre perfect that's been made in a factory. There's still a little bit there. I'm not. Stop complaining. That bit there. I think these. I mean, this is all lovely and clean and tidy. There's just a little bit there. I just want to join that up. I just want to get this liquid a little bit thinner. I'm going to write it down somewhere. The very next time I use these liquids, I'm going to stand them in hot water, just so it's a little bit less gloopy and it flows a little bit nicer. Because I need that level of perfection in my life. There's just that bit there. See, that's all right. That's all right. The best liquids, I think, so far, I've got two contenders. Lavender violets, you cannot go wrong. You really can't. They're liquids. They're cheap, they're cheerful, they work really good. They're awesome. Flipping heck, I've just dropped a bit of powder now. Lavender violets liquids are awesome. Powders, very hit and miss. Very hit and miss. But their liquids are really good, especially for the price. Dipped UK liquids are also really, really good to use, especially if you're just doing a flat colour. You're not doing anything fancy where you might want your liquid to not dry so quickly, so you want a little bit of time to add an ombre or whatever. But yeah, the Dipped UK liquids are very good. The Glamour Dip liquids take a little bit longer to dry, which is good if, you know, you're doing something where you want a little bit of movement. Speaking of which, I was talking to somebody in a Facebook group. I think I just spend all day on Facebook. I was talking to somebody in a Facebook group today, and they were talking about cat eye, you know, cat eye gels, and they were talking about cat eye dip powders. I thought, you can't get cat eye dip powders. I mean, the whole point of the cat eye is that it's got magnetic powder in it, and you use a physical magnet to sorry, hang on. You use the magnet to then pull those particles to make the cat eye or whatever design you're doing. And how the hell is that going to work with a dip powder? Because a dip powder is a solid. But apparently, you can do it. I've been watching some tutorials this afternoon, and most of them it wasn't quite ringing true because they were using gel products on top of dip powder, so it wasn't the dip powder. But if you've got a liquid that is a slower drying liquid, you can get and use these magnetic powders. So obviously that's another direction my brain has gone in. Right, okay, so this is my first hand, all dipped. There is a little gap there which I really want to do another little splodge and add on, but I'm worried I'm gonna... Oh, normally when I start interfering with things, I make it worse. I think I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to. Let's have a little brush off and see if we can just add a little bit. I don't care if it's a bit lumpy bumpy because I'm going to file it down anyway. But that gap is just going to annoy the poop out of me. It's going to annoy the poop out of me, as my little boy would say. So, if I can just very gently get my little scooper and just do a little pour. Now I might have to use the... Oh no, that's not too bad. I think we've rectified the situation. Hang on, close up. I think that might be all right. Let me put a little bit more powder on there because it looks a bit wet. God, I remember the first time I did this and I got myself in such a flap. It's like, oh my God, I'm using the wrong powder. I can't remember what I've done. Stress. When even was that? I can't even... Was it February? February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Was that 7 months? That's 7 months I've been doing this mad hobby. And I'm like, oh my God, I love dip powders. I know, oh, right, I've still got here, right, because I've only done one hand. My natural nails, right, I have bitten my nails my entire life, right? And look at this. If you've ever bitten your nails, right, you know seeing white bits at the end is like pigs might fly, right? You bite the cuticles, you bite the skin, you bite the nails. It's disgusting, but I don't know. And here I am with, I was going to say a handful of nails. That's such a stupid thing to say. With natural nails that are so ridiculously long as far as I'm concerned, and really strong as well. Like when I've had my nails done, like in the salon, whether I've had acrylics, extensions or gel or whatever, and after it's been on, it's like your nails are like paper. I remember, oh God, where did we go on holiday now? I think it was when we went to Mexico. I was trying to be a bit flash and I had tips put on, and then like a bit of acrylic over the top or whatever it is that they do. And they looked lovely, but I think one cracked or something, and I ended up getting the woman like in the beauty parlour on holiday or whatever it's called, to remove them. And like my natural nail was just like paper thin. It was horrible, and I ended up sort of then biting them more until I outgrew this like paper thin rubbish. Oh god, it was horrible. And they'd always end up paper thin. So I stopped having them done at a salon, and I would try to do different things to stop biting them, and none of them really worked. So there's a bit of skin there that I've missed. Oh, there we go. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm not like 100% mad about the colours, to be honest, but I'm going to get bored of it within a week anyway and do something else, so what does it matter? But yeah, could that be a thumbnail? I know I've already got a thumbnail up, but I might change it. You can't see my hands. But yeah, since I found doing this dip nail stuff, it's just awesome. It's bloody awesome. I absolutely love it. I really do. I bought, I don't know if you can see from here, I'm going to do my activate it while I show you. I need to get a new chair, this one's too tall. But yeah, this unit in the corner, I think that was, it was only like 35 quid off Amazon. It wasn't expensive. And that is full of dip powder, and I got some command hooks so that I could hang my swatch sticks on the side. The only thing that I wasn't like, not like mad happy about is like the whole sort of fumes. But I've not had any problems so far. This dip flu that people talk about, I've not experienced. I mean, I have got the window open. I should have the door open really, because there's nobody home. It won't make a difference. But every now and again, if I do sort of catch the smell, you know, sort of in my face, I just like breathe out, and it don't seem to be bothering me. I don't know. I do normally use, I've got a dust extractor, so I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be breathing in like pure acrylic. So I've got a dust extractor which I normally use, but obviously that would play havoc with the microphone. Oh, I've just got that little knock there where I was getting too excited explaining things. That probably won't file out particularly, and I'll be annoyed, but it'll only be for a week till I take them off and do something else. So 2 coats of activator. You can see we've got a lovely bumpy bit in that blue one right there, but that'll file out, that's not a problem. But if you are just beginning, I would highly recommend getting swatch sticks and just spend like half an hour of an evening or whatever swatching your colours, because it really just gets you used to doing the process of it, you know, dipping, brushing, activating, top coat again and again and again and again. And I use, where is it? Oh, you up there? If you've not got a lot to take off, these buffing blocks are fantastic. And even just using these on your swatch sticks, you can see the difference between the buffed and the unbuffed and just how much better it looks when you put the top coat on. So doing swatch sticks is like, it's just like really, really good practice, especially if you're trying to leave them on your nails for more than a week or whatever. Sorry, I'm just making sure everything's okay with the stream. Seems to be alright. I don't think I've had any issues as of yet. Put that there. There we go. Right, so let's have a look. We have done 2 coats of Activate It. Now I'm just going to let that sit there for a couple of moments. So while that exciting activity is taking place, I'm going to have a look at my other hand. Did I use primer on this hand? I don't know, so I'm going to do it again just in case. I don't think doing 2 coats of primer is going to hurt anybody, is it? So, and this is just a dehydrator. I know there are people that have trouble with lifting. I can't remember where I heard it. I think it might have been on a YouTube video. There's 2 channels that I watch mainly. The Marla Chris and Sip and Dip. I think they're both American ladies. I think it might have been Marla Chris actually. And she said that if you, when you're using your base layer, to put a layer of base on, let it air dry, and then start your nails as normal, and that can help if you're having lifting issues. Say it's something that I've never experienced, so I can't sort of like give advice because it's not happened to me. But let's get you ready. I know a lot of people do, obviously, because it's all over Facebook. Right, let's close up again, and we're going to start on the thumb. Right, keep it nice and thin. So I'm just going to do this little landing strip again. There we go. I'm not sure if I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but I did when I took my old set off. Obviously filing and scuffing up, or whatever you want to call it, took place. So all I needed to do was to tidy up my cuticles and then remember to use the Primate. It's weird, the sort of things that you like forget when you're not concentrating. Right, so what was that again? What's the green called? Sage Seduction. And then we're going in with Lavender Lux. You there. Oh, I don't know, is it good for me to sort of make mistakes and say, oh, look, I've made a mistake. This is what you do and this is how you correct it. This is why I prefer pouring on, because especially as your pots get a bit more empty and your nails get longer, obviously, I am finding that I'm catching the bottom of the pot more often, and then it's sort of giving these knobbly bits where you've pressed it into the powder. I do much prefer pour on, to be honest, and using the pipettes. Oh my god, that is so nice. I don't know if that's more of a sensory thing that I like doing, but it just gives me, or it feels like it gives me so much more control. I made a short on that actually, using pipettes. Let's see if I tip it a little bit, it helps. No, I still caught the bottom. Yeah, I think this might be the last time I dip into the powder. I think I might just convert to pouring on full time. But yeah, I made a short about using pipettes, because it's just so nice and it makes you feel like you've got so much more control of the powder and where the powder goes. And I do think it gives a sort of a nicer, lighter application. I mean, comparatively, my nails aren't that long, really, are they? I mean, I know they feel like stupidly long to me because I've bit my nails all my life, but compared to those ladies that have those inch-long extensions, I really don't think that's going to be where I end up, to be honest. I like having it on my natural nails. I did buy some tips. Just get this one done. I bought, and they're quite a nice brand as well, Après Gel-X tips, and they look really nice, they really do. And they give me that, you know, I was saying earlier, that perfect shape, the perfect C curve and all the rest of it. And they do look really good. And even though, have I got one? Even though they're called Natural Coffin Short. Can you see there? Yeah. Natural Coffin Short. They're still longer than the nails that I've got now. So I'm not sure where they get off calling them short. And I also had to buy a box, because normally they come in size 0 to 9, I think, and I had to get a special box that had 00 because I've got fat thumbs, wide thumbs, whatever you want to say. So I had to get these 00 ones. I'll just balance it on there, and they, you know, I mean, there's a lot more you can do, obviously, when you've got more length. You can get a lot more fancy in your designs. But I put them on just my right hand, and I didn't really like it. I think it was a sensory thing. It's I don't know, it sort of weirded me out a little bit. I tried doing a design on them. I tried filming it actually, and I just got myself a bit stressed out and I didn't like it. So off they came. Thankfully, I was smart enough to put them off with like a peel-off base, so they did come off relatively easily. But I don't know, the whole experience made me feel a little bit claustrophobic. I don't know. I didn't really like it, so I don't know. I might try again another time. As long as I know I can get them off easily, then I won't get myself into a panic. but I'm liking doing my own natural nails, you know. I say I 100% stand by the old acetone coconut oil in the bag. And now I found the baking beans rather than using rice, because I didn't like using the rice. I mean, that gave me the ick. And it wasn't even about, oh, you're wasting food. It wasn't even about that, which it probably should have been, but it wasn't. It was the rice when it like soaked into the hot water, and it was just a bit weird. And then I got a bit of it on my skin, and I've got this weird sort of very lightly cooked rice, but sloppy and horrible on my skin. I was like, no, you know what? I do not like that. So the baking bean idea was, I can't remember her name, but there was a lady I was talking to in the comments, and she said she'd used marbles instead of rice. And I thought, oh, that's such an amazing idea. And I didn't have any marbles. So like, you know what? Baking beans. Baking beans should work. So I got some, and they did. Because to be honest, I mean, she said marbles worked fine. Oh, I've missed a bit on that one as well. We'll have to make sure we get that next time. But yeah, marbles are like glass, so I don't know how I felt about using marbles, to be honest. I mean, she said they worked okay. Yeah, baking beans, fantastic. I mean, and it's so quick, and I don't even, I can't remember what I did in the video now when I made the video about it. I can't remember if I used separate bags for each hand or not, but I don't even do that. I get the one bag, one lot of acetone, I've got like these big cotton pads that I cut into 4. Hang on, concentrating, a little bit further out. Yeah, so I only make one bag up. One lot of acetone, one lot of cotton pads, and that's enough for both hands, because it stays warm enough with the baking beans in the bottom. And it's so quick. Oh, I've missed quite a bit on that one. Not done very well there. I know it's me, but I am also blaming the liquid for not being as thin as I want it to. I think when you've got the liquids and they're sort of open to the air, they do start thickening up anyway. So definitely next time I'm going to stand them in hot water to thin them out a bit. And I'm definitely just going to do pour on, because I'm not 100% happy about dipping anymore. And I think, I mean, that's, you know, you can sort of curate this hobby any way you want, really. You can not be a perfectionist, you can be a perfectionist, you can just do quick dips, you can do dips that last you 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, it depends what you do with your hands, doesn't it, really? You can change the colours every week. You can be adventurous and try different things, or, you know, you can just do whatever you want. And it's just, I think part of it, I just like spending the time doing something for myself. You know, this whole self-care business. that's not too bad. And with all the different brands out there and the different powders, you know, like the possibilities are endless. So it is fun. Different people have different preferences for different liquids and different powders, and I keep seeing these gorgeous powders, and people are sharing in groups on Facebook, and they're all American, and it's like so unfair. They seem to have all these custom dip groups. Hang on. And there's like these little what would you call them, like cottage industries of people at home making their own dips in batches and then selling them, and they all look so fabulous. Clean up time. Right, what are we in? 2 dips in on the right hand. Left hand is ready for filing. That I joined this one group, and they sell like movie themed dips, and they had this Jaws selection, and they were like all these sort of like deep blood red with bits of glitter in and stuff, and they were so cool. And they don't, you know, they only ship in America, and it's like, oh damn it, and there's just all this cool stuff that I haven't got access to. And I know there are ways you can get stuff shipped from America. You can get sort of an American PO box, and then they send it to you. And I have used one of those services once, but they're a bit pricey. So I'm not sure that I would be using it for dip powder, to be completely honest. Oh, right, okay, so got a couple of problems on this hand. Maybe I should be keeping my basic lid on a bit more properly, because it feels like it is thickening up as I'm using it, unfortunately. But hopefully I'm going to remember, and this is the last time, that I don't put my liquids in warm water. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could go and get a bowl now, but can't really be bothered. Especially seeing as I'm on the internet. Right, okay, so we're gonna go in. Yeah, it is a bit thick, to be fair. Close up. Right, let's see. Just concentrate a moment. And Sassy Saints was the first dip powder company that I ever bought from, and it was like proper random as well. It was just an advert on Facebook, and I'm not really sure if adverts on Facebook are completely legitimate or not half the time, to be honest. I mean, that's where I saw the Manista advert, and if you watched my video on Manista, you know that was not a very good purchase. I don't know if I should say this or not, you know. They keep getting in touch with me, asking me to take the video down, and I've tried to talk to them like nicely and sort of civilly, because at the end of the day, and this is what I put in the message to them, like, yes, I have a very small channel and I make videos as a hobby, you know. I'm not an influencer or whatever else. But I am a consumer at the end of the day, and I bought something with my own money, and that thing turned out to not be very good. The fact that I decided to make a video about it not being very good, and I thought, yeah, if you've seen the video, I mean, I'm quite polite, aren't I? I'm sure I'm polite. I'm certainly not horrible, and I don't sort of inflame the situation or exaggerate. I try to be as true to the facts as possible and describe what's happened rather than just sort of like going off on one. Did I manage to get that bit that time? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, not bad. Yeah, so, you know, I bought the Manista starter kit that arrived in bubble wrap, and it was just, oh god, the bottles were just like awful. These awful little cheap plastic rubbish. You know, and it was my money at the end of the day. It was you want close up again. It was my money. I spent it. I bought this thing. It wasn't very good, and I made a video about it. And I didn't just act stupid in the video and say, this is shit, don't buy it, blah blah blah. You know, I'm not a TikToker. I tried to be as concise and as honest as possible and stick to the facts, and it was rubbish. And I was angry, not just because this might sound a bit stupid, not just because of like the fact that I'd spent my money on it, but if that was the first kit that I'd ever bought, I would have never bothered with the hobby anymore. You know, I thought if there's other people out there that buy that kit and then think, oh, is this what dip powder is? Well, that's a right load of old rubbish, isn't it? I'm not going to bother with that. So that made me a bit angry. But yeah, they found me on Instagram, which I don't even really use Instagram, to be honest. I mean, I've sort of rebranded everything, and I've still got the Instagram and the TikTok and everything else. And I try to share the content across it, but I don't have time to do everything everywhere every day, which is another reason for doing a live, because it's a bit quicker and there's no editing involved, so you get me as I come, unedited. Because it being the summer holidays and having my little boy at home, I've not really got time to do much, I'm afraid, at the moment. But yeah, they messaged me on Instagram, like, oh, we're sorry you didn't have a very good experience, blah blah blah. At no point did they offer to sort of compensate me for anything, by the way. And then they were just like, oh yeah, could you take the video down? And I just ignored the message. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I don't understand you at all. It's like I've been honest with you. I've said this is rubbish. And you're just like, oh yeah, we're sorry we messed up. Can you take the video down? No. So I have had random sort of thoughts in the shower that, oh, they're going to try and take me to court or something, but I'm not sure that that's really a thing that you can do when you just, somebody's giving you a bad review. I don't know, but the video shall stay there unless something happens and I get forced to take it down. But I mean, the other thing is as well, like, you know, I'm only a little channel. It's not like it's been on the 10 o'clock news no, Manicure Dip Nail Powder Company is a bit rubbish, you know. I'm like, I'm not that important, and I think the video might have 500 views. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not like thousands upon thousands of views. There's not like, I'm not influencing herds of people to not buy this thing. So I don't know, but stuff them anyway. They shouldn't be trying to con people by charging them X amount for something that is, quite frankly, a pile of pish. Right, we have one more coat to do on my right hand. I know this is taking longer than it would normally take me because I am chitter-chattering on the internet. So, we will brush down, trying to keep everything looking nice and neat for the visual experience. So I won't have that much filing to do. There is a little bit of lumpy bumpiness, but nothing too dramatic because I've been putting the powder on nice and thinly. Which is like my main thing now. And then we can start filing the left hand while the activator on the right hand dries. And then have a go with the matte top coat. I do see, even in the official Sassy Saints group, people asking about matte top coats, and the sort of official Sassy Saints commentators don't even sort of pipe up about their own matte top coat, which I find a bit odd. And I have heard that when you're doing a matte top coat, your filing game needs to be sort of on point, because it does show up more imperfections. But I'm going to do it anyway because we need to try it. And if it looks rubbish, all will not be lost, because I know I'll probably want to do something else in the not too distant anyway. I'm just trying to get a bit more on this side because I've not quite got as far as I would like to. I feel like I need a bit more liquid, which I shouldn't really. I just think it's not applying quite as gently as I would like it to. No, that's not too bad, I don't think. Looks covered to me. Okay, into, what's this one called again? Oh, I've forgotten. Sage Seduction for the last time. Okay. Right, put the lid on. You are done. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Lavender Lux. Let's get you prepared. Okay. And then did I miss any bits? There's a little bit there. Okay. Concentrate. Concentrate. Yeah. I think think my liquids are just thickening up a bit. Which, you know what? I mean, it's an air dry product, isn't it? So every time you go into that product, it's going to start to dry out a bit, innit? So I do hope the trick with the hot water works, because it's going to be a shame to not get as much out of the liquids. Okay. Let's keep it nice and steady. I have set a reminder in my calendar for Saturday for the Sassy Saints. I can't remember what they're called now. Nail art pens. No, they're not pens, are they? They look like you dip into them. Whatever they are, they're coming out on Saturday. So I will grab a couple, and then I can have a bit of a play with them, and I'll probably have a go with the Glamour Dip ones next, actually. Yeah, that'll be good, because once this is done, change you back. Once this one's done, I think the next manicure I do, I will play about with the Glamour Dip art pens. I have already tried one and they look really cool. They're air dry, so there's no gel involved. Let's get rid of that. So I will have a play about with those, and that'll be quite good actually, because then I can compare the Glamour Dip pens to these Sassy Saints things. I'll check the email. I'm sure I've still got the email to see what they're actually called. Oh, this liquid's going quite thick now, unfortunately. I think it's just what happens, isn't it? I should have got the hot water. Never mind. Yeah, so I'll play with those pens. I'll see what the Sassy Saints ones are all about. And then we can have a bit of a compare and contrast. Right, last one. We are nearly done. How is that fly still alive? I'm sure I got rid of you. Be gone, or you will get trapped in my nail. And filed away. Filed away. Just laughing at my own joke there. Right, we are fully dipped. Okay. Right. Okay. We have 4 coats. Bit of an apex method going off. This hand is activated, this hand is not. So I'm going to brush brush off here. Oh, excuse me. And then we can get this manicure finished up. Let's just have a little tidy. Get my little display back together again. There we go. Such a neat freak. Sort of. I don't know, sometimes I think I'm really messy. Or I am really messy, but I hate it, and I'm like constantly trying to not be messy. Okay, that's a little bit better. Right, oh, brush, nearly forgot. I'll just do this here quickly because I have neatened that up. Right, okay, so we'll go in with the Activate It. And you can physically see when you put the activator on, like how it just changes the texture, the look of the product on your finger. And every now and again, if I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing, I forget to put activator on and I start filing away, and then I wonder why it looks rubbish. And then bits just start plopping off, and it's because I've not activated. So I feel like I've not really put enough green on this thumb, you know. Now, I know I've said it like 3 times now, but absolutely, definitely, positively, when I'm using my liquids, I am going to stand them in warm water to make the application thinner. And I am just about positive, unless it's a deep pot that's like fully loaded, I'm just going to be pouring on. No, just let that dry a moment. Where's this fly? No, still living. I'd go out window if I were you. Okay. That one. Right, so then, while we just let that soak in, I am going in with my file, just for a light filing, because they are not too thick at all. Still a bit bumpy, not perfect, but because we have gone light on the application, there's an awful lot less filing to do. So, and also, let's go to close up so you can see when you are filing. Let's get, where were we? There. Sort of angle your file against your cuticle and make sure that that cuticle line is nice and even, and just sort of, what's the shape I'm trying to describe? So it's sort of, you've got a little bit of a curve going into your cuticle, because again, that'll make it last longer. So sort of go round your cuticle line, and if you've not got too much to take off, you can just go over and keep sort of checking, like I'm always sort of like looking at the shape, what's right, what's wrong, you know, because it's just about practice and looking at your nail and making it the best it can be, you know, because we're not professional nail technicians. We are DIYers at home trying to do the best that we can, and that's not taken very much, and that is looking quite all right, to be honest. Let's give it a little brush. Now I would normally be using my oh god, what's it called, dust extractor, but it makes a hell of a noise, so I will just cope with the fact that I'm making a bit of a mess. But yeah, this tiny little indentation there is where I knocked it when I was too busy talking instead of doing it properly, but that is nice and smooth and even, and I could be a bit closer to the cuticle line, but when you're practicing and when you're a beginner, it's better to do it like this, and then you can always work your way closer the more that you do it. And like I said earlier, you know, I've pushed my cuticles back when I was doing the prep stage, so my cuticles are naturally going to be closer to the product anyway. You know, like tomorrow morning when I've got up and everything's back to where it will normally be, so it'll look pretty decent anyway. So let us do a quick, this one's a little bit more lumpy, but yeah, it'll all go, little lumpy bits. We just file away. If I was making a video, normally I'd fast forward this bit and have some funky music, but because this is a live, obviously I can't do that. So we will just file and file and file. I won't start singing because nobody wants that. And after I have done this finger, I will put another layer of activator on my other hand, or you should see me when I'm swatching. I do get myself in a bit of a pickle because I start doing too many all at the same time, and then it's like, oh, which one am I putting activator on? And I try to get things in like nice little neat lines so I can remember what I'm doing, but I always mess it up. Right, okay, that's looking all right. Give that a bit of a brush. Okay, not bad, not bad. Right, I'm just gonna pop on another layer of activator on this hand, so that by the time I have finished filing my left hand, I will be able to start filing my right hand. So let's put you on the big one again. Well, I've quite enjoyed doing this live, actually. I was a little bit hesitant about it, but it does actually make making content quite straightforward, because I'm just sort of doing what I'm doing, really. And then I can always re-download the video and make an edited version for anybody that doesn't want to see me rambling for, how long I've been online for, an hour so far? An hour, I think. Should have had a bigger drink. Note to self, when going live on the internet, get more drink, because there is a lot of talking involved. Okay, so we have filed these two. That is fully activated now. So we're going to go in and file away. You know, and I know I sort of keep repeating myself, but I'm not sure which viewers are sort of here and which ones are going away and coming back again. The counter keeps going up and down. We are beginners here. I am not a professional nail technician in any way, shape or form. You know, I've been doing dip nails since February, I think. Without checking when I actually uploaded my first dip nail video. I won't be able to tell you. Maybe it was March actually. I think I actually ordered the Sassy Saints kit in January, I think. And I let it sit there on my shelf because I was scared to start using it. It just seemed like this weird, crazy thing that I was obviously going to make a mess of. And then for some reason, I had the inspiring idea that I was going to film the first time I use it ever and put it on the internet. I don't know why, but anyway, it was fun. I did all right. That video, I think last check, has got like 13,000 views or something. So definitely other people have got something out of it, which is fantastic. I love YouTube. I don't think I even really watch normal telly anymore, to be honest. I'm either watching YouTube or Twitch, because I am a bit of a nerdy gamer, and I like watching people play video games on the internet. I know, weird. If I'm not playing video games, I like to watch other people play them. So yeah, watching YouTube videos. And it's like massive as well. The help and the sense of community you can get. Because YouTube is just made up of mostly normal people, you know, making content about things that they like, hobbies that they're involved in. And yes, it can all be a bit amateurish. But that's sort of like the point, isn't it? It's just normal people, normal opinions. How are we doing with that one? And I love it. Obviously there are some very big YouTubers now. But it just seems a lot more sincere to me than, say, something like TikTok, which I do watch TikTok occasionally. I've come off it more now because it's just people trying to sell you stuff constantly, which I find so frustrating. E-commerce TikTokers, I think they call them, and it's just relentless. Oh my god, I bought this dress, it was amazing, blah 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 blah. And it's like, it's not, because I actually bought one of those dresses, the pink stripy ones. It's awful. It's awful. The fabric is like, ugh. I don't even know what it's made of, but it is rough and horrible. And it basically went straight in the charity bag. So do yourself a favour. Don't buy it. I mean, even like Primark quality is superior to some of the rubbish available on TikTok shop. And it's not, I know there are more sort of independent businesses on TikTok shop as well, because you can just start selling your own stuff on there. So I know there's independent shops that are probably selling really good stuff and everything, but you're just sort of enshrouded by this utter trash. So this dress that I bought, this viral dress that everybody's selling and is amazing and all the rest of it, it's just awful. I'm just going to quickly neaten the ends. I'm not doing anything too dramatic because I am trying to get back to my sort of more squarer shape that I lost a bit through trying out an almond shape, which I actually don't really like and I don't think suits my nails very much. So, and I do tend to do most of my shaping filing now when I've got the acrylic on, because I don't see much point in spending loads of time filing your natural nail into a nice shape when you're only gonna then stick the acrylic on it and then file it. So some of these cuticle lines are a little bit wobbly. I have definitely got to get my liquids sorted out because it's just lumpy, but they look alright, they look okay. So I'm going to activate this now and then quickly file the other hand, and then we are almost done. I'm just going to give that matte top coat a go. I mean, I suppose it's going to look kind of like this, isn't it, with the matte top coat on. I have heard actually the matte top coat, see the difference? Let me just show you this. What's up? This is the one that I've filed and this is the one that I haven't filed. And again, I see pictures on Facebook of people saying, oh, it doesn't look good enough, and how do I get it better? And it's like, this is just filing. This is just filing. So going from this to this is just getting your filing a bit better. That's it. That's it. So I'm gonna neaten this up. Get it all smoothed out. And then I will give my hands a quick rinse under the tap to help prevention of contaminating my top coat. I don't really know how the matte top coat's going to be for contaminating actually, but we will find out because I made my video on how to stop your brushes going hard, because a lot of that happens because people are getting the Activate It unwittingly into their top coat, and it is quite easy to do. And I think the Sassy Saints liquids are a little bit more susceptible to being contaminated. I mean, they're not more susceptible to being contaminated, but I think they are more sensitive, if that makes sense, which will be something to do with the formulation. and no doubt something that you sort of benefit from in one way or another, whatever combination of ingredients they use to make it a pleasurable system to use. I have noticed the Sassy Saints liquids do seem to smell less than some of the other ones that I've used. So, although there are, I believe, low odour liquids. I can't remember which brand. Maybe Glamadip do a low odour. Not sure. Because something I have noticed as well, it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes I sort of, because I wear glasses, it's almost like the fumes get caught behind my glasses, if that makes sense. And I sort of feel it like in my eye. And I have to sort of move my glasses to let the fumes out. I don't know, that sounds a bit weird. Just want to get this filing finished, because I would really like to try out this top coat. Because I also have the Glamadip top coat, matte top coat, and I would like to use that at some point. Probably next time, actually, because I'm going to do the nail art pens. So the next manicure I do will be Glamadip with the nail art pens, and using their matte top coat. And then I'll be able to compare the matte top coat from Sassy Saints and Glamadip and the nail art pens, or whatever the Sassy Saints version is called. But yeah, if you can just improve your filing game, it will do so much for making your nails look better. And yeah, it does take a bit of time. I mean, how long have I been doing it now? I don't even know. And my stream started 2 hours ago. Oh, that is a long time I have been sat here talking to myself. God, it's no wonder I need a bigger drink. Flipping heck. I know some of this is off camera. I'm just trying to get it done as quickly as I can. But yeah, I'll be able to compare those, which will be interesting. And I say I've got well, glitters. I mean, I got loads of glitters. Say, if you saw my Shein haul video, oh my god, I didn't know that I'd bought that many glitters. I think I kept seeing things that I liked, and then Shein suggested the same thing in a different colour, and I was like, oh yeah, I like that as well. Oh, it's so cheap. In the basket. So I opened the bag and it was like just full of glitter. It's like insane. But there are some really lovely glitters in there, so I've got loads of ideas, loads of swatching stuff that I want to do, just so many ideas. I kind of wish I was the kind of person that liked going out, because I would be able to have events to go to and think, oh, yeah, so-and-so's getting married or whatever. Because I had this idea for these, I got these 2 gorgeous glitters, and it would have been a really cool like gender reveal style nail. One left, we're nearly there. My hands are starting to ache. Oh my goodness, I definitely need to get an e-file. This is just like insane. But yeah, I had this totally cool idea for like some gender reveal nails. And it's like, firstly, I ain't having another kid. That ship has sailed, you know. I'm far too old to be getting involved in that business again. And the chances of me getting invited to a gender reveal party, slim to none. So it's like, oh, I'll just make a video about it because it's a good idea, and maybe somebody will watch it and somebody can copy the idea, and they will get some enjoyment out of this idea I had for some gender reveal nails. I don't know. Right, we are just about there. And then we can have a look at this matte top coat. I hope that I have sufficiently filed enough, because I've definitely seen a couple of people talking about the matte top coats and saying if you don't do a very good job of filing, it looks like a dog's dinner. A gloss top coat really does help hide a multitude of sins. Right, let's brush off and see what we're left with. Okay, not bad. Getting the dust off this one as well. Right, okay, so this hand has been activated after filing. Look at the state of my mat. Oh my god. Oh, stress. I just want it to be neat all the time. I can't. Right, activate. So once I have got this on, I'm just gonna let this soak in. Right, so I need to rinse my hands under water just to help with any extra activator, but I'm just going to let this hand soak in, so forgive me while I just shake my mat in my bin and have a little brush. Does anybody else collect craft supplies of hobbies they think they might do one day? I save so much rubbish. These paintbrushes were when I was in one of my painting phases. It's a Bob Ross brush. It's a Bob Ross background brush. I got them in a kit. There's this really cool little art shop near where I live, and she only buys stuff from like end of sale, stock clearance auctions, so she gets it cheap, and she's a bit bonkers, to be honest, but she's lovely. And she sells all this utterly like random art and craft supply stuff. And it's like cheap. She gets it cheap. She makes a bit of profit. She sells it cheap. She uses a shop like she's an artist anyway, so she paints and what have you. But she runs it as a shop as well, and I buy all sorts of stuff from her. Oh, this is really interesting. I'll use that one day, and never do. But matte top coat. Okay, so I am just going to, for one moment, go and wash my hands. I'm back. That was a quick back in 5. Right, so we have tidied our cuticles with Sally Hansen. I always want to say Henson. Sally Hansen. Tidied up the cuticles. We have done a gentle file. I did a gentle scuff earlier. I nearly forgot to use the primer. But I did remember. I may have primed this hand twice. I can't remember because I was too busy talking. Base layer, which next time I will stand in warm water because mine has thickened while I was using it. Bit of an apex method. Started off with a little landing strip. Second coat a little bit wider. Third coat basically where I wanted it. Fourth coat, I could have got closer to the cuticle. There's a couple of them that aren't close enough, in my opinion. But as I said, we're learning, and I'd rather be too far away from the cuticle than too close to it. Because being too close to the cuticle is much more problematic than being too far away from it. So we have activated twice. We have buffed and filed. I don't even know how long I was doing that for, but they all look lovely now. And we activated again. We have rinsed our hands, and now for the matte top coat, which better look good. So, oh dear. Let's have a look. So, let's do a little close up. Now I have opened this, but I've not used it before. In fact, let's get a cloth out just so that I can wipe in between applications. There we go. Yeah, this is so much more thin and liquidy than the base coat. I know I'm like utterly repeating myself now, but warm water. Okay, so we are gonna go 1, 2. Oh, that just goes on so nice. Oh, I'm impressed. Right, okay. Give it a bit of a clean. Back in the bottle. I barely need to wipe it on the side. It's just so nice. And the brush spreads lovely. Yeah. I think this is a problem that a lot of people encounter and won't even really realise what's happening, unfortunately, because your base coat getting thick, it just leads to problems. Application is harder. I mean, this is like nowhere near as neat as I would like it, to be honest, but when it just starts to get thicker to apply, and more problematic to use. It's not as nice, unfortunately, but this is a fresh, brand new bottle of top coat, and it's just like a world of difference to use. Barely feels like I'm putting anything on, to be honest. It just feels like water almost. Gonna be interested to see how the matte top coat looks. Turn it round. Okay, right, so that is one coat of matte top coat on all my nails. So I'll just give that a moment. Yeah, I think I was going to say this earlier and I got distracted with something else. There was somebody talking about the Sassy Saints matte top coat in a Facebook group, and they said it dried to more of a satin finish rather than a matte finish. So I am kind of expecting that. Maybe that's why they don't push it too much, because it's not a true matte. I mean, I've got one coat on at the minute and there is still a delicate shine there, so I don't think this is going to be a true matte. So it will be interesting to compare it to the Glamour Dip matte when I try that one, probably next week, I think. It will depend, because my son will be back and it's still the 6-week summer holiday. So trying to do anything is a bit hard work, but let's go in with my last coat of matte top coat. Can you see? You can. Right, okay. Make sure we're getting all the edges, and don't forget to cap your free edge. A bit off. Something else I see a lot of chatter about in Facebook. How do I prevent cracking? How do I prevent chips? And as soon as I started capping my nails, that was like game changer. It really was. Because I used to get chips and cracks near the end, and just gently going over the edge of your nail like this just really sorted it out. And it almost feels a bit like it's become one of them terms. It's like, oh, are you capping your nails? It's like, capping? What the hell's capping? Because if you're not up with the lingo, it's almost becomes a bit like gatekeeping, which I absolutely hate on all levels. I think everything should be accessible to everybody, but the term capping does really sort of cover, you know, what you're talking about. So we'll just go around nicely. Oh, this top coat feels so thin, you know. Once it's dried, as long as we get the little clicky acrylic sound, then we know we'll be okay. Right, let's go in on this hand. Oh, it just feels so thin. This is definitely because it's a brand new liquid that hasn't been exposed to the air. So that is definitely something I'm going to try on the next mani. in the warm water. Get those liquids as thin as you can, because it makes a massive difference in application. But the more I use this matte top coat, I am definitely thinking this is not going to be a true matte, which I am a little bit disappointed at, but I don't hate it. Maybe if they called it a satin finish, then it'd be a little bit more accurate, I think. We'll see. I'll just get my last coat on here. Get this capped. And the last nail. We are basically done. Okay. Right, so let's have a look. Matte top coat. Definitely not matte. And that, I think this is why they're not actively marketing it on their website. This is much more of a satin finish, which is still nice. It's different. Let's give you a bit of a close up. We've got a bit of a sheen there. It does look nice. I don't hate it. I'm not loving my colour choice today. I think it was a bit of a tester of some Sassy Saints colours, and I can see where I want to improve. You know, if you put this next to my very first video, my very first attempt at doing dip powder, clearly I have come on a long way, and I'm not ashamed to say that. My application is much better. There are still things that need to be fixed. There are still things that I can improve upon. But overall, it's pretty decent, and it is... Are we dry? We are dry. And we have the acrylic clickety clackety, so we are completely dry. But yeah, matte top coat, not really, is it? It's not. It's definitely not a gloss. I would call it a satin sheen. So what I will do, I'll take a picture of this for the next video, because you can see the light reflecting on this. So in the next video, when I do the Glamour Dip matte top coat, and because I can get up and reach them now, the nail art liners, so we will be able to see what these are like to use. We will see what the matte top coat from Glamour Dip is like, because this is not very matte at all, unfortunately. I reckon they are just selling off old stock of this, and they're not actively marketing it. It is there if you want to search for it, but it is not a matte. So we are done. I have a new set of nails on. This has been different and interesting, and I've actually really enjoyed myself. I think I really like doing lives, actually. We've had, I think, about I think I got up to about 6 people at one point. We're sort of in and out, different people. This has been really nice. Hopefully next time, if anybody wants to engage with me in the chat and we can talk and it's not just a one-way conversation. But yeah, this has been great. So I hope you've enjoyed being here. If you're not watching this live, I hope you've probably fast forwarded through a lot of this video, but you've enjoyed parts of it anyway. I am now going to have a sit down, get myself a drink, probably play my Xbox and enjoy my last night of peace before the rabble come back. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. How do I end this? Oh, there we go. I got a little outro. I'll see you later. Bye.